depository institution, his bank focuses on helping underserved communities. With recent volatility in markets and turmoil in the Middle East, Kelly spoke to Bloomberg about what most concerns him as a leader in banking.
Looking at the geopolitical issues and what's happening worldwide is going to have a big impact across the board. The big issues that bankers are thinking about now is making sure that fraud is taken care of. Another issue that we're dealing with is the stablecoin issue there in Washington, D.C., being sure we do not have disintermediation associated with deposits so we can't lend in those local communities.
Kelly mentioned stablecoins. That's a new wrinkle that many banks are focusing on implementing in the near term. He's working to make sure that stablecoin regulations don't end up harming smaller community banks that service underserved communities. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 101.7 FM and 1510 AM. W269DL Milwaukee and WGKB Waukesha.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, oh, the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, or the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Wednesday, July 29th, 2026. Yes, of course, we are going to talk about what was billed as a Democratic candidate debate last night. However, upon closer inspection, I do not believe that was a candidate debate because a debate allows the candidates to challenge one another, to turn toward one another, and to point out inconsistencies in the other candidates' records. There was none of that. This was a candidate forum in which most of those folks on that stage, including State Senator Kelda Royce, businessman Joel Brennan, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, Wisconsin State Assembly Representative Francesca Hong, and former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes were auditioning for the voters and hoping to win over and move and sway some 40+% of undecided folks. I don't know if that was accomplished. We're going to talk about the candidate forum in a little bit more detail shortly. We do have a YouTube poll question up, and it's not a complicated question. It's a simple yes or no. Don't want you to think too hard. Don't want you to expend too many brain cells on the YouTube question. Do you believe that there was a clear winner in last night's candidate forum? I am not going to call it a debate because there was very little debating. In fact, the only shots that were fired were Mandela firing shots at David Crowley, which I found petty, too little, too late, last ditch, very small of the former lieutenant governor, including a photograph that was posted from an official, maybe unofficial Mandela Barnes campaign account. But to refer to David Crowley as being a part of this quote unquote establishment, and the establishment is trying to tip the scales in this election, the establishment is trying to have undue influence in this election, is hypocritical because at one point in time, Mandela Barnes loved that establishment, and he ran for lieutenant governor in 2018 as a part of that establishment, and he ran for the U.S. Senate in 2022 as a part of that establishment. So let's not use that term as a negative when it once was the wave that you rode on into Wisconsin politics. I'm not necessarily a fan of that term or the way it is currently being used, because I do think there need to be some solid foundational bedrock policies that are easy to understand and easy to communicate. If you're going to vote for a Democrat or if you're going to vote for a Republican, don't you want an established policy platform? Don't you want to have a set of expectations from those folks you were putting in executive or legislative leadership? So they're taking the term establishment. This is what I believe, because African Americans, up until recently, have been the foundation and the establishment of the Democratic Party, and I don't see that as a bad thing, because if you look at some of the things that African Americans marched, fought, organized, and voted for, it is to establish a much more fair, equitable United States of America. So if that's the establishment, then I too am a part of it. I'm a member of the media. The media is so establishment. It is the only industry that is enshrined in the Constitution, literally the only industry that is protected by the Constitution itself. The establishment is not bad, but what they're trying to do, and I'm noticing it this cycle, and I've been trying to communicate it to all of you every single day. This is an anti-African American, anti-affirmative action, anti-DEI political climate. So if you can relegate the contributions of African Americans to Democratic wins, including the Wisconsin State Supreme Court, which now has a liberal majority, if you relegate us to the establishment, now all of a sudden we and our sentiments are no longer welcome in a much more left-leaning, progressive Democratic Party. This is Francesca Hong's party. Like it or not, it is hers. No one attacked her. No one went after her. She was completely unscathed. Now, the bar was very low for her. All she had to do was get through the debate and not make any screw-ups. And I think that she was doing something within the debate that most people didn't account for. When she was asked if she agreed with some of the platform items of the National Democratic Socialists of America, she said no, because they want to like get rid of the U.S. Senate and they really do want to abolish the police. And she disavowed herself from them. But also should be noted, National DSA is not supporting nor endorsing her, or at least not yet. By her disavowing some of the more extreme positions of the DSA, she immediately, right before our eyes, moved back toward the middle, and she was running against Tom Tiffany, because I don't know if she needs to be concerned about the other Democrats on the stage. I'm going to get into more detail. I'm already getting into the detail. I'm troubled that they have taken this word establishment and it's turned anti-black, just like woke. They changed the definition of woke. Woke is our word. Woke is what black people would tell to other black people. If you're going to be driving from the deep south through the deep south and maybe to all points north or west or east, stay woke, because you might be driving through sundown towns. Stay woke. Keep your head on a swivel. Be vigilant. There are certain places you can't go, certain gas stations you can't stop at. Stay woke. Woke was a term that we used amongst one another so that we stayed vigilant. And then, of course, the right came and they commandeered woke. Even before the right commandeered woke and made it a slur, the left was calling each other woke. They were trying to out-woke each other. You know how hypocritical it is when white folks try to out-woke one another when woke is our word? But just look how the definition of woke changed. It started as something that was out of care, out of caution for other African Americans driving through and passing through the Jim Crow South. You got to stay woke. These people are not nice. They're not friendly. There's some towns that you have to be out of by sundown. You have to stay woke. Then the left took it and they tried to out-woke each other. Who can be more progressive than the other person? Then, of course, the right chomping at the bit. They took it and turned it into a slur. Now you have to be anti-woke. Anti-woke, in effect, is now anti-black. Think about it. Establishment. Establishment now has become, oh, you don't want to be a part of the establishment. They are all running for public office in which there are established rules and paperwork and campaign finance laws. All of that is establishment. So what are you going to do? Get elected to governor and start a revolution? Oh, I'm so just frustrated. So a YouTube question. Not that it even matters, because here's what I found in sifting through the commentary, especially on Twitter. Oh, everybody's an expert on Twitter. It's so good. It's so good and so bad at the same time. Everybody is an expert. The candidate of your choice is who you thought won the debate, because it wasn't a debate. It was the candidates that you already are probably familiar with, the ones that you have been following more closely than others. And if you listen to talk radio, you probably already had a preferred candidate. Like, I don't believe that people that actually pay attention to media every single day, or at least pay attention to media frequently, are still in the 45% undecided, and I don't even think the undecided number is that high. If it is that high, that's dangerous, because a portion of the undecided, if you're undecided less than 2 weeks before the actual election, when 108,000 mail-in votes have already been cast, FYI, the majority of those have come from Milwaukee and Madison. And if you're still undecided, you're probably not going to vote, or at least not going to vote in this election, because who is undecided in a midterm election where Donald Trump is president and apparently there's an affordability crisis, which everybody is talking about? I guess it's been going on for a while. When Donald Trump was running for re-election, he was talking about the price of eggs. Eggs were so, I don't even know if people are even buying eggs anymore. So to be undecided means you are either disinterested, or the other D word, you are disappointed. So here's what we're going to do. I guess I kind of previewed the debate a little bit. I got some articles I'm going to reference, but it's mostly whoever you liked before the conversation, the forum last night, you probably still like them, and you probably also think that your preferred candidate did well. I have my preferences on who I think beat expectations I think Kelda did okay. Kelda was consistent with what she said when she called us yesterday. Kelda got a script. It's tattooed on the inside of her eyelids. She stays on the script. I think Joel Brennan sounded like an executive. I don't know if that's going to be enough. David Crowley sounded like the Milwaukee County executive. He sounded like a good county executive. I don't know if he was able to make a case in which he would, because he had to triple his support in the polls. I don't know if that performance tripled his support in the polls. Are you guys familiar with a restaurant called McDonald's? I'm sure you are. Every McDonald's you go to, the food is exactly the same. The McDouble is the same. The McChicken is the same. Now, there might be a slight variation in the care in which your sandwiches are assembled, but it tastes the same. You know, McDonald's, like all of the food, whether it be breakfast or any kind of a sandwich, it has like a general, like McDonald's flavor to it. But if you go to other restaurants, if you go to Burger King, if you go to Wendy's, McDonald's has its own kind of unique just flavor. Maybe it's the way they salt their food or season their food, but their burgers and their sandwiches have just a unique McDonald's flavor. McDonald's, no matter which one you go into, it could be one in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, or Louisville, Kentucky. You might even be at a McDonald's in Boston, Massachusetts, or Sacramento, California. They smell the same, right? No matter what the issues of the day are, no matter what the election is, Mandela Barnes just seems like the McDonald's. No matter what the issues are, he just gives the same kind of very familiar, almost comfortable kinds of answers. So I don't know if he differentiated himself between his positions and the other candidates. So why don't we do this? Because I say I'm going to take a break, and that's when I start talking all over again. Let's take a break, come back, and I want to change the narrative a little bit about something that I think troubles me. And talk radio is a place in which we can change old narratives and begin to explore new ones. I think that African Americans are hampered by an old, tired, and I'm going to prove to you today, false narrative that all black folks struggled and are poor. And to be authentic, you have to come from the 532 something something zip code. And you had to struggle all your life. We got to stop that. Do you guys know that all black people aren't poor? Can we begin with that premise? Because for some reason, whenever we get on a stage or whenever we have a fantastic opportunity in front of us, we always highlight how homeless, how poor, how many evictions, how many absent fathers. That's not, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know, and I'm going to prove it to you because I know some of y'all going to need some convincing, especially those of you who have less melanin, because you truly believe that all black people are just struggling. We're just one step out of slavery. Like every black person, you guys think, wakes up in the morning, oh, Lord, I guess I'm going on down to the watermelon patch. Oh, Lord, my back shoulder is hurting. That all black people are just humming slave hymns. Not true. I don't even know any slave hymns. Okay, well, kind of. I know a couple, but not many. I know more Jay-Z songs than slave hymns. By the way, why did David Crowley quote Beyonce last night? Did you hear that, Xavier, when he said,
yes, I did.
Oh, the Beyonce.
The Beyonce plan.
Somebody, like, his consultants they've been steering him wrong the whole time. I really got to take a break now. You need to be a better producer and
I let you riff. I mean, what do you mean? You have a 2-minute thing in the beginning of the show. You know, you get yourself a little extra first segment. You know,
I don't want to blow my wad in the first segment though.
You're not going to.
I got a lot of wad left.
Yeah, you're pacing yourself. You're just edging it.
Have you? Have we figured out what's playing over the radio? Are we good, or is? I got a text message saying that something from May 1st is playing.
I checked the YouTube. Sounds like today's show. I don't know what they're talking about.
Fair enough. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on today, Wednesday, July 29th, 2026 at 11 a.m. Another Marquette University Law School poll is set to be released. And when it is released, we will bring it to you live and in real time. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative,
and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It should be noted that since 1990, which was 36 years ago, the African American poverty rate has effectively cut itself in half. Is it higher than other racial and ethnic groups? It is. But is it lower than it was? Also, it is. The current rate of poverty for the years in which we have the most recent data, which is the year 2024, because a lot of the federal agencies that are designed to collect demographic data and tell the American people how we as Americans are doing economically, a lot of that has been disbanded by Doge and Donald Trump. The EEOC has been disbanded or reassigned. The Civil Rights Division of the U.S. Department of Justice has all been reassigned, mostly to immigration enforcement. So the credible statistics that we have, even the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is supposed to be a nonpartisan organization that tells the American people where the labor market was, where it is, and where it is going, those have all been essentially upended by political appointees of Donald Trump. So we can't get honest, factual, statistical, detailed information coming out of this administration. So we have to use Biden administration statistics, and I am okay with that because that was a presidential administration, whether you liked him or not, that actually believed in science. And, you know, science, it helps with a lot of stuff. So the years in which we have credible data from 2024 released in the fall of 2025, the African American poverty rate stands at 17.9%. I'm going to round that up to 18%. That means that 82% of African Americans do not live in poverty. Do not. Now, there's some leeway just above the poverty line. Depends on where you live. Depends on the makeup of your legislature of your state. Depends on the makeup and the political ethos of the city council in the municipality in which you are a resident. You can be above the poverty line and still qualify for certain benefits. Maybe you can get energy assistance. If you're 100% or 50% above the poverty line, you still can qualify for some benefits. But technically, by the standard federal definition, The overwhelming 8 in 10 black people don't live in poverty. But for some reason, we give credence and credibility to the black people who are in the ultra minority of the minority. And I want to change that narrative, because you have the world thinking that black people are just all overwhelmingly poor. And even when we have people accomplishing great things, doesn't their narrative always start with, we grew up poor? Oh, Lord, I didn't know where my meals was coming from. That doesn't represent 80% of our community, yet for some reason we put credibility and stock into those people. And I find it problematic because it feeds into a stereotype. And we are still trying to push back and reject the stereotypes that black people don't work and don't have money and are lazy and are shiftless. 82% of black people are not poor. The opening remark from the county executive last night, I think that at some point he was accused of being establishment, and he said it was a one-liner that was written because they got the debate questions ahead of time, you can tell, which I don't necessarily like that. If I'm watching people that are going to be representing us, especially in the executive branch, I want to see their wits. How do you think on your feet? Because if you're doing battle with a hostile legislature, and if you're doing battle with the Trump administration, because the governor of Wisconsin, even if it is a Republican, is still going to have some friction and some tension with the federal government, which is led by Donald Trump. I want to know that you can think on your feet. And so when you give the candidates all of the questions and the subject matter ahead of time, then they get to write like little cutesy, ooh, I'm going to say this, I'm going to sneak in the Beyonce line, which missed completely. But David tried to distance himself from being in the establishment, which I don't think that he should do that, because other people have changed the definition of establishment to mean something negative. He said, I didn't grow up in the establishment. I grew up in the struggle. Why do we have to lead with that? I can't be the only one that thinks this way. Every time a black politician or a black person who accomplishes something or does something, I came from the 53206. Look, we get it. There's a lot of people in 53206 that went to jail, but it doesn't mean that every single person, there's got to be tens of thousands of people that live in that zip code. Every single person in that zip code is not a thug and a criminal and a felon. So we lead with our poverty and how broken our homes were. And that does not represent African Americans. The number of people living in poverty in the year in which we have the most recent data, 35.9 million, national poverty rate is 10.6%. So 89.4% of people in America can clearly afford eggs. They are not living in poverty. Now, that doesn't mean this stuff isn't expensive. That doesn't mean that affordability isn't a real thing. The people that buy the gasoline, your gasoline prices are probably going up. And I don't know, your athletic shoes that you purchased, or your socks or your underwear, or some of you wear Michael Jackson gloves. I don't know what the hell you wear. Maybe those things have gotten more expensive, but that doesn't mean that you live in poverty. Poverty shouldn't be vaunted. Like, I'm authentic because I grew up eating dirt. Or that's not. Where did that come from? That narrative, because does it mean like, oh, you're tough because you grew up in poverty and started from the bottom, now you're here? Maybe is that what it is? I think that narrative needs to be totally and completely retired. And I say that because I do a lot of comparisons. And I know I don't want to compare us to the whites, because the whites. Ay, ay, ay. Even though that's something a Mexican would say. The whites are, in fact, the gift that keep on giving. For a master race, they're not doing very well at being masterful, but whatever. When a white person, I don't know, runs for office or something, or does something big, wins a championship, do they begin their speech with, I came from the trailers. I came from not having indoor plumbing. I came from because you got to be even more destitute than coming from a single-parent household, because for some reason I don't think because single-parent households are actually pretty common. And oh, by the way, the majority of single mothers in this country actually are white women. Oh, you don't have to believe me. Go look it up. So you have to actually be worse off. I came from a no-parent household. They don't say that. In fact, they don't use their past, however checkered, to give credibility to where they are currently. And I don't know, maybe it's just something that black people do to show like how tough we are and how hard we can fight. Or maybe we use that to show that we're not a part of the establishment. I wish that we would use, if you're going to use a negative definition of the establishment, because you know what the establishment in America really is? You know what's really established, what's tried and true and consistent and has been here as a foundation even before America was a country. Because America didn't become a country until 250 years ago. Before that, it was just a bunch of states that acted as their own independent countries. The whole idea of the United States was not anything the states even wanted to do. They were content being their own countries and also would reserve the right to go to war with one another. But the founders were like, nah, let's try and get this damn thing together and put everybody under one roof so we, the federal government, can tax everybody. That's a whole nother set of issues. Racism. Institutional and structural racism in everything. In education, which came up a lot last night. In health, the distribution of healthcare resources. We see it's everywhere. That is the establishment. The established order is I'm going to prevent you, or I'm going to judge you, or I'm going to make your life a little bit more difficult, or I'm going to find out where you live as far as if you're a minority. I'm going to make sure that you get less. I'm going to make you have to struggle a little bit more. Even with that, black people still find a way to excel, because I also know that we realize that racism as an institution and as an establishment, the real establishment in America, is based on ignorance. And if you just outthink racism a little bit, you can fool a racist person. Because we can live in a gray area in which they cannot see, because a racist person usually sees things, pun intended, as black and white. They don't have any capacity to understand nuance because a lot of them are just dumb. But the real establishment in this nation, what has been foundational, is that we judge people based on sometimes their ethnicity, their country of origin, even their religion. There was a point in time where America didn't want to elect a Catholic president. We didn't have a Catholic president until 1960. And when I think about that, who cares? Catholics they're a little weird, a little tiny bit. They're little bit, not like Seventh-day Adventist weird. Not, they don't like cut the heads off of chickens or nothing like that. Not the Seventh-day Adventist cut. Somebody cuts off chicken heads and does. Who's the religion that does the snakes?
Santeria.
What's Santeria?
Oh, I thought you were talking about cutting off the chickens and stuff like that.
But no, it's a
Santeria. I mean, I don't know the origins of it. I know it's like from a mix of African heritage
voodoo?
stuff. Yeah, voodoo stuff, and then
But it's other evangelical white Southern Christian religions where they got
the snake people. I know who you're talking about. I don't know the names.
Well, Catholic. I'm just saying Catholics aren't that weird.
Yeah, I don't know. The priests are pretty weird.
Yeah, some of them are. Some of them can't get married.
Well, it's not an excuse for what they do.
It's not all of them. It's not all of them, but it's always them. Let's take a break, come back. Stop promoting the narrative that black people are poor. They're not. The majority of black people have a lot of money. I mean, we don't know what the hell to do with it, but we're not poor. I started at the bottom. I was born in this world with no parents, because you have to outpour somebody else to get more credibility. I don't even know who my mother is. I was born and I was on the streets as an infant, and I had to kill for Similac as a baby, and I taught myself how to walk. And look at me now. I'm running for president, and I started with nothing. I had to sell crack in kindergarten. Stop it! Stop trying to outsad one another to build credibility. I want somebody to say, yeah, I grew up with both my parents. I went to college. We had delicious meals. We went to Red Lobster 2 days a week. We weren't poor. I drove a Chevrolet when I was 16 years old. I got a car in high school. I was very happy and content. I went to the mall and I bought athletic shoes and athletic gear because I didn't grow up poor and I'm black. I know how to read. I go to the library for fun. I do research and I go mountain biking. I'm black and I'm a world traveler with a passport. Why can't we ever begin with that narrative? Why it's got to be, I grew up with nothing. I grew up, I didn't even have any elbows. I had to grow some elbows when I was 14. Let's change the narrative, okay? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Educators Credit Union is more than a place to manage your money. They're where your financial possibilities take shape. They're more than transactions. They're conversations about your financial goals. More than numbers, they're community advocates who support free, local events that are accessible to all. They foster community because we are stronger together. Educators Credit Union is people helping people. Become a member at ECU.com. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to health care and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Wisconsin Democratic gubernatorial candidates faced off in the only, quote, debate before the primary. Personally, I don't believe it was a debate. I believe it was a candidate forum in which the individuals who were running to be the Democratic nominee tried and failed to differentiate themselves from one another. I think they also compared themselves to Francesca Hong, which basically solidified her as the front runner. I am not convinced, and I'm going to stand on this, and I'm going to continue to repeat it through November 3rd, that a non-Democrat third-party candidate that happens to get the Democratic nomination, because remember, Democratic primary voters are very different. They're a small subset of the overall electorate. They are not the majority. I don't believe that a third-party candidate can beat someone who is, even if the other of the majority party candidate, there's two majority parties, Democrat and Republican, okay? Even if the Republicans are not doing very well and if Donald Trump is not polling very well, I think it is a higher hill to climb for a third-party candidate to beat any one of the two main political parties, because you're going to have to convince people that absolutely are Democrats or issue voters to vote for a third party. Third parties have tried, and sometimes they have really good ideas, but a lot of times their ideas are generally absorbed within the other political party. Republicans absorb MAGA. Democrats usually absorb leftists, revolutionaries, progressives, centrists, moderates, blah, 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 the Big Ten. But when you have a faction of what would be very liberal Democrats identify as something that is not a Democrat, a democratic socialist, I think that that is tougher in a general election, because general election voters in Wisconsin, a red state, Wisconsin is a red state, don't fool yourself. Donald Trump won this state in 2016 and he won it in 2024. It was only a blue state in one of those last three elections. And I think it's tough for a state that has been trending red. We had a Republican governor for 2 terms in Scott Walker. Now we balanced that out with a Democratic governor in Tony Evers for 2 terms. But I think it's going to be really, really, really tough, because the Democratic coalition, which has failed, I think, since Obama. They've been trying to rebuild the Obama coalition since 2012, and they can't do it. We don't even know what happened. We don't know where those people are at. They don't exist anymore. It was a combination of a variety of different social and economic factors that built the Obama coalition. That coalition is gone. And I don't think it's ever going to come back. Democrats are too busy living in the past. That's unfortunate. And I don't know if the future of the Democratic Party is for it to disband itself and become the Democratic Socialist Party. But right now the party is broken. Literally, the DNC, who we would like to come in and help, they're broke. They ain't got no money. The DNC has $2.2 million in debt. They had to mortgage their building to get a loan to pay some of their debts, opposed to the Republican National Committee that has 130. Well, as of Monday of this week, the Republican National Committee had $130 million. They probably got more than that now. They're flush with cash, not to mention Donald Trump's super PAC has $400 million. Now, Democratic candidates, especially those running for the U.S. Senate in various states around the country, they are raising great money. Jonathan Ossoff has got about $42 million. He can spend about $500,000 a day until the election. Jonathan Ossoff in Georgia, he's doing okay. James Tallarico in Texas, who some of y'all don't like because he beat Jasmine Crockett, he's got about $72 million, so he is doing very well on his own. But they are not going to be able to get any additional support from the Democratic National Committee because the committee is broke. Let's talk to somebody else who's probably broke, one of those blacks in poverty. Hello, Bob.
Yeah, hello, Sherwin. You know, I just can't believe it's 8 out of 2 blacks that got money. I mean, the polls.
Not got money, just aren't living in poverty. Difference.
Well, I called C-SPAN today.
Why?
That's one thing.
Why would you do that?
Huh?
Why would you call C-SPAN? For what?
Because they brought up a topic that aggravated me, and I had to let them have it. But, you know, I scratch my head when I'm going to vote for the man that you suggest, Brennan. However, I thought about if Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson lived in Milwaukee and they had to vote for the governor, they go with them 2 black guys, whether they win or lose. You know, that's why I'm scratching my head, but I'm going to vote for this guy, you know, this white guy, but see, just scratching my head.
Bob, I don't feel comfortable you saying you're going to vote for my guy. First of all,
yeah,
it's much more. I want you to think on your own. If you want to vote for the black candidates, Bob, please do that. Be like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, which I think are not necessarily people that, well, one of them is dead. I don't know if that mode of thinking, their 20th century view of black people and the black community and civil rights, I think it's kind of outdated. But if that is who you follow because they were influential to you when you were coming up, then vote how they would vote. Me and you clearly are not the same. I got different calculus that goes into how I make my political decisions. So I don't want you to just listen to me. Vote how you feel like voting.
No, I'm voting for who you vote for because I don't know enough about them people. And I called C-SPAN today for the fact that here's how you end the war.
Oh, good God. Bob, please tell me you didn't. Yes, I do mind, actually. You called C-SPAN and you said on the air how we should end the war?
Yes, because they aggravated me. Yeah. How you end the war is the head of the Senate and the head of the Congress say they will vote 2/3 not to never blow you up and pay the money that this president, this idiot, blew up your country. In return, we hope you will not get a nuclear weapon and open up the sea of without us paying. And that's the beginning of the negotiation. And we're going to have 2/3 vote to make sure Trump ain't got nothing to do with it. We override him. Even if we have to, negotiation goes till we have to impeach him. So that's what I said. That'll end the war. That's the only thing that really will end the war. Otherwise, we're going to be going back and forth, blowing each other up.
Okay.
How in the world?
Oh, all right, now. Okay,
are you making friends?
Okay.
With Putin?
Okay, I said okay.
All right, go get me started.
No.
Man, oh man. Talk to you later, sir.
Okay. I take back something I said earlier about the majority of African Americans not being poor. Because some of us have poor judgment. So we do have a level of, we have poverty judgment. I don't know what it is about Bob that makes me want to go rob a liquor store. I don't know what my blood I don't know what it is. Okay. Oh, I have a little fan right here. I need to cool off. Okay, everybody, I'm going to take a break and come back and talk about, The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Five Democratic candidates vying to become Wisconsin's next governor faced off in their one and only debate. It's not a debate, it's a forum. Well, it took place yesterday, exactly 2 weeks before Election Day, and on the same day in-person absentee voting began across the state. The debate came after a significant shake-up in the race when Sarah Rodriguez dropped out, prompting Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley to re-enter the contest. For those of you that believe David Crowley won last night's candidate forum, what is that based on? I'm serious. Is it based on the fact that you like him, that you want him to do well? What are you considering when you say that he won? Because I did a poll in the Hughes Views Facebook group, and last I checked, the majority of people said that David Crowley won the candidate forum. How? Because if I missed something, I mean, he didn't lose, but if the goal was for him to, now it depends on what poll you pay attention to, and I don't know which ones to pay attention to. The only polls that I find credible are the ones that I commission, and I haven't done one in a while. But he was somewhere between 5 and 7% when he dropped out of the race, maybe even a little bit lower than that. Did he perform in a way last night that would improve his poll numbers to better than 40%? Did he give answers? Did he give solutions? Did he make his case to where he could, via his performance last night, he could overtake the current frontrunner, Francesca Hall? Or, here's what I fear. We live in a participation trophy society, which I hate. Some time ago, back in the 20th century, if you got second place, you lost. You didn't win. You lost. If you're in the playoffs and you lost, you went home. You didn't get a trophy because you put your shoes on. I don't want us to have a low standard for black people. Like, that scene in Nutty Professor where Eddie Murphy plays the mother, Hercules, just giving credit to her big, fat, big back son just because he's eating. We can't do that. We can't afford to have a low standard for African Americans who are seeking powerful positions. They need to be held to the highest standard, dare I say. We should hold them to a standard higher than we hold the Caucasians, because the Caucasians have an incredible blind spot when it comes to representing people of diversity. Now, they can do it if they outsource and if they hire other people. But I think that our standard needs to be high. And if you have a low standard for the black candidate because, he grew up in a 5'3", 206 and he got evicted a lot, I think you are selling black people short. It irks me to no end when we have a lower standard for us than even they do. So if you believe that David Crowley won that candidate forum because your standard for him is low, just the fact that he was wearing a red tie and he was standing in the middle, some of y'all going to crown him the winner. What about actual performance? What about actual merit? that needs to count for something, because I think if you hold us to that standard, African Americans will exceed every single expectation. But if you hold black people, especially black children, to a low standard, especially a low academic standard, you know what's going to happen? They're never going to learn how to read. If you go into your profession of teaching thinking that these black children are mentally deficient and mentally void, it will come out in your instruction of them and financial markets. We have to start by holding one another to a higher standard. Mandela did not exceed that standard because he got unnecessarily petty. Challenge somebody on their policies, brother. Did you see that picture, Xavier, where they showed, it was a caption, propped up by special interests and on a platform, and they showed David Crowley was standing on a platform? Did you see that picture?
No, but I heard about it.
I'm gonna send it to you. Now, I don't know if that was Mandela's official campaign account, but it is run by someone who was close to him, and that's just absolutely disgusting. If you can't challenge somebody on the merit of their responses and their issues, you have no business running for office. And the good news is, after Mandela loses this one, he will go away. He will not run for statewide office ever again, because it will be proven and established that he can't win. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes, rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 1017 FM and 1510 AM, W269DL Milwaukee, and WGKB Waukesha.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. For those of you questioning whether today's show is live, it is not. This is actually a rerun from 1994. So the show you're listening to right now is 32 years old, and it's on YouTube. So there's this guy that every so often will appear in the YouTube chat, and every single time, I don't see his name frequently, but every so often, is today's show live? I say the date. So when I'm not here, Xavier, and you play a recorded show or a previously aired show on YouTube, I'd imagine the live circle is lit up, correct?
Yeah. So yeah, sometimes I will play like an old show just so the audience can, have some visual stimulation.
All right, then. Brian says from the 833-212-1017. Who are you asking this to, Brian? Says, is he going to go over the debate from last night? Yes, I am, Brian. Chris says, oh, these are golden text messages. Station is no longer relevant after Tori and Dr. Ken left. What? I didn't know that they made us relevant. Let me see. What's another one? Sean says, listen every day. Brother Brad said, I'm locked in every morning, Sherwin. Well, thank you guys for locking in. Appreciate it. Let me check the YouTube poll. I asked a very simple question. Was there a clear winner in the Democratic debate? 79% of you say no. Here is what I am going to deduct from that. That undecided voters did not all of a sudden decide who they're going to support based upon the lackluster, and I shouldn't say that, because Kelda, she did her thug thizzle. She did. She's very shocked, and she's been quoted as saying she doesn't understand why she's not more popular. She had her little white pantsuit on, trying to channel her inner Hillary Clinton. She has come around a little bit on her stance on education. The only issue that, because I tried to listen closely. So we did a live broadcast via my YouTube channel. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, well, hell, what are you waiting for? It don't cost you nothing. And it pays great dividends. It's Hughes Views 414 on YouTube. And in the evenings, usually beginning at 7 p.m., I may do a recap of stories of the day. I may talk about news that broke since I went off the air on 101.7 at noon. And then I also just kind of go over some things that I may not have gotten to during my 3-hour program. So if you haven't subscribed to Hughes Views 414, by all means, please do so. And so I broadcasted the debate on my YouTube channel. And so the live chat was responding in real time to the candidates and their questions and their answers. And it was very, very insightful. It really was. And thank you guys for participating. Last night, we actually had a pretty decent audience watching the debate on the Hughes Views 414 YouTube channel. But I don't know if it necessarily moved the needle. I know that there were candidates that certainly held their own. I think that Joe Brennan did well. I think that his answer on education was decent. But there were no questions that specifically pertain to the African American community. And I find it rich because WISN and their anchors moderated the debate, and WISN, Channel 12, our local ABC affiliate, they cover issues in the Black community all of the time, whether it be crime, whether it be social maladies, they cover it, but not a single question. The crime in Milwaukee, street takeovers, Water Street, Brady Street. Now, those are hyper-local issues, but Milwaukee is an economic engine, and so you can't run for governor of this state and not have a series of policy positions on the largest city that we have in the state. And none of that came up. And if you look at policy positions for the city of Milwaukee, because if they are successful, the entire state does better. And if they are not successful, the entire state does worse and probably goes deeper into debt, because if we have unresolved issues in Milwaukee, and we do, and let's just say incarceration goes up, then that is more money out of the taxpayers' pockets to pay for that incarceration and the rehabilitation and integrating people back into society. So I was a little disappointed that there was no issue that pertained to the city of Milwaukee's largest ethnic group and just the largest city as a whole. The closest we got was the question on education. It's basically a battle of who is going to end the parental choice program first. And one of the more liberal candidates on education, and when I say liberal candidate on education, I don't mean that their stance is positive. A liberal stance on education in Wisconsin in 2026 means you want to end the parental choice program, which is categorically unfair because so many public schools in which a lot of black children are doomed to attend are a pipeline to prison. And so if there is an opportunity, and there is, for those children to go and attend a different school, including schools that are tucked behind the barrier of tuition, I think that program needs to stand. You don't necessarily have to expand it, but I don't think that you take it away. And Kelda said that if a child is currently enrolled in a parental choice school or getting essentially a coupon to pay their tuition, they are able to finish in that private school until they graduate. And if they have a sibling, that sibling will also be able to participate in that program. And that's fair. And Kelda got the WEAC endorsement, and WEAC, which is the Wisconsin Teachers Union, they hate school choice because it takes children and resources away from the public school system. And then I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna take a telephone call from Mac, but I want to talk about this other theme that I heard. It's making me sick. We have to fully fund public education. We got to fully fund public education. Public education is not fully funded. We got to fully fund. What does that mean? Give me a number. Y'all know how to do math. Y'all know how to count votes. You know how to count poll numbers, but you can't give me a number on what fully funding public education is. You can give me a number on how you want to cap the number of black children that are in the parental choice program. Oh, you have a number for that, and you'll communicate that number from the rooftops. But you can't tell me, the voters, the taxpayers in the state of Wisconsin, what does fully funding public education look like? $30 billion or $22 billion? Increasing our taxes by 39% or 117%? What is it? Tell me what the number is. Y'all know numbers. Y'all know how to do the mathematics. Let's talk to Mac. Mac, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's on your mind?
Well, what a joy to be black, first of all. And the work that you do is greatly appreciated by your listening audience. I must say that.
Thank you.
You do great work. And I will continue to tell you that. But nevertheless, I grew up in 53206, spent 56 years there. The greatest thing of 53206 was Lavarn Way Boys Club. And we had something like, let's say we had 25 Sherwin Hughes there. Now, we're young boys. Now, we were educated by these men, and we also they had a program called Project Before, which involved black police officers. They would come in every Saturday, and they would spend time with us. So 53206 was a great place. 1968, I saw James Brown at the Conley Stadium, 53206. In 1962, the president of 63, the president of the United States was assassinated. I was living 53206. I went to Riverside High School, where you guys are going to have your thing, back to school thing, and it was a great choice for me because at Riverside, I did drugs, okay? And there was no fentanyl. It was clean drugs. It was LSD, cocaine, and all that stuff.
Hey, wait on a second, buddy. You were doing so well talking about 53206. Now you talking about LSD and cocaine.
Well, I just split the the LSD in half at 53206.
Oh,
and I
that
took
makes
it over to the other zip code
sure.
and did it at
That
school.
makes it better. You split your acid in half. Oh, all right.
Yeah, I split it in half because I shared it with my buddy. And I think I dropped on it. Well, we'll talk about that tonight. But anyway, man, what you're doing is great. And that name that I mentioned to you, he was a professor at Nebraska.
What's happening?
Well, that's what happened.
Okay. When was the last time you did some drugs?
I tell you what, I don't regret it.
When was the last time you did a little toot?
Regret going to Riverside, and the drugs were good at Riverside. Of course, I should have went to North Division like my brothers.
When was the last?
And then
Mac,
I could have got into
can you hear
theater
me? Mac,
much
stop
earlier.
talking. Hello,
but
Mac.
I didn't.
Mac.
Yes.
When was the last time
Yes.
you did a little toot, tootsie, cocaine?
Shit, it's been about a year, man. I'm 69. It's been about a
You
year.
doing cocaine?
You can't do it now. You can't do it now because they got that fentanyl shit out there.
Stop saying the S word. You can't cuss. Stop it.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
You high right now?
No, I'm cool, man.
Damn.
But I appreciate what you do. Thank you for last night, how you analyzed the whole thing, and I don't know how Beyonce got up in it. But I can say one thing to your listeners and to you also. Just one more thing.
Okay.
Music will never be as great as us in our lifetime than it is. We've heard the best that music had to offer. If we never hear any more music, we've heard the best in our lifetime. With that, I will talk to you this evening. Thank you for who you are. Appreciate you.
I want to go home.
Wow, that was very interesting. So he was probably high that whole time.
I asked him when was the last time he did a little tootsie. He said, I'm 69 years old. I did. He's done cocaine. How are you 70 almost?
I don't know. I don't even know where you even find that at, at that age.
Ask him.
I'm good. I live the sober life.
Do you really?
Well, I get high off of women. That's about it.
You don't drink alcohol?
Rarely. Unless I'm with some women and, going out to the bar or something like that. But no.
Don't let these women run your life.
Oh, they don't.
All right. Because you do a lot of what you do is for them.
No.
They're never satisfied.
I'm never satisfied.
All right, fair enough. Then y'all will be a match made in heaven. I tend to think that, you can do a lot of really nice, romantic, and chivalrous things for a woman, especially in the beginning. It could be beautiful dates and flowers and gifts and jewelry. And you do all of these things during the courtship phase, and you're getting to know one another. And then as you get on your glide path to what we hope is a loving, long-lasting, and consistent relationship, I'm not going to speak for other men, believe that all of those things that I did in the beginning still counts for something, still gets me some kind of favor because I laid a great solid foundation for what the relationship is going to be. And I come to find out that women are like stomachs. I can tell my stomach that we had dinner last Friday, and we had a good dinner last Friday. It was delicious and filling, but my stomach wants more. It's hungry right now. It doesn't care that I ate yesterday. My stomach doesn't care that I ate in the month of May, and I ate very, very well over Memorial Day weekend and went to 13 barbecues. It needs to be filled right now. And so what I have come to find out, it does not matter what you did. That doesn't matter. You have to continue to feed it right now, and it gets exhausting. But that's just my experience, and that's not even what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about Mac doing cocaine as a senior citizen who's probably getting Social Security. I want to know, what does fully funding public education look like? No one is able to tell me that. The next candidate I get on the air, and I don't even know if I'm going to talk to any candidates, because what's the point at this juncture? But they got to give me a number, because think about this for a second. Are you expecting us to vote for you and to elect you, and you're just saying a random talking point, fully funding public education? How much more money do you need? How many more referenda do you need? How many more property tax dollars do you need? And here's what's troubling. None of them will commit to a number, because I think that who is really controlling education policy, the teachers union, they want an unlimited amount of money for education, because as long as you have black children that can't read, they're always going to have a reason to ask for more money. Well, look at these black kids. They're not doing so well, and their test scores are low, and their math proficiency is very low. We need more money. And if you have a willing accomplice in a Democratic governor that will oblige the teachers union by giving an unlimited amount of taxpayer dollars to public education, at the same time we are maintaining a failing system, that don't sit well with me. That's deceptive. Tell me a number. Let's debate the number, because voters who are still undecided, half of them are, maybe some of those voters want to know what fully funding public education looks like. And here's the other thing. Once we reach the fully funded number, then what? Then what? Does everybody graduate? Does everybody go to a 4-year school? Does everybody go to trade and tech school? Once we fully fund public education, what happens? Will discipline problems go away? Will we have enough tutors and reading specialists? Will we have enough summer programs? What happens? Tell me what happens when you fully fund public education. I wish somebody would tell me what it means, but they can't, because they are listening to people that want an unlimited spigot of taxpayer money to fund a system that we know is failing. However, the candidates did give, I guess, considering the political climate where everything on the Democratic side has moved uncomfortably to the left. I mean, there's center, there's moderate, there's left, and there's purple and pink hair. I think that we have moved the party to the purple and pink hair wing, where public education, of course, is the top priority and anything else is awful and horrible. But fair enough, if that is going to be your position, then tell me what fully funding looks like. Tell me how much it is. How far are we from fully funding public education? And what more are we going to have to sacrifice to get there? And when we arrive on this beautiful mountaintop of fully funding public education, please tell me what's going to be different. At least make it attractive. Make me want to fully fund public education, because here is what it's going to mean. I know what it's going to mean. Teachers are going to get a little bit more money and the benefits, and they're going to get summers off. Oh, they already do. They already do. Take a break, come back, talk to Maggie on the other side. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, where we do not condone cocaine usage after the age of 65. You got to put down the little straw. Put down the little spoon. Your little tutor, the little tutors they have. You got to put it down now. It's time to start thinking about nursing homes. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is, my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise. and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Our phone number is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Let's talk to Maggie. Maggie, you're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing well, Sherwin. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing excellent. Maggers, what's on your mind?
Two things. First, one of the questions that was asked last night in the debate was beyond any standard of reasonableness. And it was the follow-up that was asked about tax rates. There's widespread agreement amongst Democrats that the extremely wealthy, I'm not talking even about, your doctors or your dentists or folks that build their own business and they got a nice nut in the 401k, because a lot of those people think Democrats are talking about them. But the ultra wealthy, think I can go off into the wild blue yonder and never worry about it again, and so can all of my kids and their kids type of money. And the question that was asked by the moderator as a follow-up was, well, if you raise all these tax rates and all these people leave, then what? There is not a single economist or legitimate economic study that has ever shown that to be the result when tax rates increase. Why? Because there's incredible transactional costs. Well, I got to move my big old mansion and my 5 houses and my kids and shit. That's not how it works. There will be some adjustment, but it's never immediate and it's not everybody leaving. And that's even less true when it comes to businesses. Shame on the moderator for asking such a gotcha question straight out of the MAGA playbook. Just wanted to share that thought with you. The second one, I got to give you some business, Sherwin, about the comments about the ladies and the stomach.
Can we not? No, please don't.
Sure. Then we won't. But I just have to say,
no, fine. I can take it.
Both men and women sometimes have insatiable needs throughout the course of a relationship. The challenge is finding someone whose needs and your ability to meet them are complementary. It ain't a gender thing, my friend. Keep up the great work, Sherwin. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Maggie. Appreciate you too.
Yeah, you bet.
Fine. But I said I was just speaking from my experience.
Yeah, it seems like you are very scorned.
No, I'm not. I'm just realistic.
Women are nice, and there are lots of healthy relationships where the woman and the man are fulfilled.
If the man remains ignorant, because women cheat, it's in their nature.
Men cheat too.
differently. When we love hard. When a man is in love, I really don't believe that he's unfaithful. Now, obviously there's some cases where that is the truth, but a man will sacrifice all of his happiness for his family and for his woman. He's hasn't had joy in a long time. He doesn't get to go out anymore, doesn't see his friends anymore. He may not even be getting physical intimacy many years or decades into that relationship, but guess what? He's in it. He stays in it. He wants to take care of her and take care of the children and all of the things. She, on the other hand, will sacrifice all of that for her own happiness. She will in a second, and she'll get away with it. And when she gets caught, she's justified in doing so because the man wasn't doing this, or he works too much. He's not around. They don't talk anymore. He doesn't treat her the way he used to. And she is entirely justified because she's got an entire community of women that will have her back and actually assist her in her deception. I don't think men quite have those kinds of social networks that are designed and pre-built for deception. But no, I'm not saying that they're all bad. You just got to know the game. And the game has not changed. If anything, it seems that equality and fairness and gender equality and gender fairness means that women can more easily and readily adopt not just male traits or masculine traits, the most toxic of the aforementioned. And, toxic masculinity is bad. However, if women have it, well, then it's fairness and it's equality. So I'm just asking people to exercise an air of caution. And also, if you date an intellectual person, because everybody says they want somebody smart. No, you don't. I'm telling you right now, you do not want an intellectual person. I know that some people are turned on and they're stimulated. The sapiosexuals amongst us. You want someone who is really bright and witty. And usually a sense of humor is a real good indicator of someone's intelligence. There's an old saying, gentlemen, if you can make a woman laugh, you can kiss her more often than not, because women do value humor because it's like an insight into how intelligent that man is, and everybody wants an intelligent person, or so they say. But the thing about intelligent people is they're prone to do a tremendous amount of research because they want to get to know the person, right? They're going to ask you a lot of questions to try and figure out who you are, why you are the way you are, and why you think the way that you think. But then after the initial phase of research is they're going to want to verify. And if you are promoting yourself as such and you're dating this really intelligent person who does their investigating and does their research, they need verification that you are who you say you are. And many people are not who they say they are. They promote a version of themselves that they believe is the best and most attractive, but that's not who they are. That's theater. And so the intelligent person then realizes after they do their research and now they want verification that you are who you say you are. And then the verification comes back negative. They begin to pull away and you wonder why you get ghosted. Or, ladies, keep this in mind. He pursued you with great vigor, didn't he? Text messages, the good morning beautifuls and the flowers and the candy and the dinners and the gifts and the jewelry. And then as he is getting to know you and he begins to verify and it doesn't match up, he starts to pull away. And you wonder how and why the man that pursued you with incredible tenacity is now starting to pull away. He got to know you and he was disappointed because the verification came back false. You were listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, where we're trying to figure out what fully funding public education is. We're also trying to figure out who's going to be the next governor. Is it going to be a Democratic socialist or is it going to be one of the blacks? Or is Joel Brennan going to make a last-minute surge? No, probably not. Poor Joel. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world. or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to health care and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Babar says, once you pass the first date, you should know. Are you out of your mind? First date is a make-believe. That's a representative. That's not that person's triggers and their trauma and their childhood experiences and their bad financial managements and the stuff they're still dealing with from their previous relationship or their previous marriage. A first date is just, you got to keep it light. Do something fun, something non-committal. Don't go to dinner on a first date. That's insane. I ain't paying for you to eat on the first date. Eat before you come. I ain't gonna commit to dinner. We'll go to dinner later. And she may not, want to have dinner with me. No, I'm not. We can meet for tea. We can attend a candidate forum. Oh, I got one for you. I'm providing this because the whole point is to share information about what our government is doing, because clearly nobody knows. Can somebody give me an answer on what fully funding public education looks like? Should we ask Mandela? He wants to fully fund public education. He ain't going to call me back, though. So one of you all, if you have Mandela on speed dial, hit him up and be like, hey, man, we want to know what fully funding public education looks like, because how do you make a decision on who you're going to vote for if you do not know the dollar amount or the increase that we need to fully fund public education. And then once it's fully funded, what does that look like? And because they can't give us specifics on that, they don't even know themselves. It's a talking point. Mayor Johnson promotes public engagement through budget hearing open houses. Mayor Cavalier Johnson is promoting 2 budget hearing open houses as part of his ongoing effort to hear from residents of the city of Milwaukee about the 2027 city budget. So all the ideas that you guys come up with of youth programming and anti-crime strategies and maybe even development, we got to figure out what we're going to do with Midtown. The Department of City Development does, in fact, have an allocated budget where they can put together plans and development ideas for different parts of the city that we no longer want to see dilapidated. The problem is the public does not attend these meetings. And what we do is we opt not to go to these meetings, and maybe we don't want to, or maybe we don't know about them, but don't worry, I'm going to give you the dates and the times. In fact, one of the budget meetings is, in fact, tonight, and it's at an early voting site, so you can attend the mayor's meeting talking about the 2027 city budget, where he and other elected officials, alderpersons, they want the public's input, because what happens is we don't show up to the budget meetings. They make the decisions on their own without input from the public, and we hate the decisions that they make with the tax money. And we yell at them and we scream at them, and they say, hey, we invited you to the meeting where you get to tell us where you want the money. And then what do? We give an excuse. Why? I couldn't attend. Well, then shut up. Can't complain about where the money gets spent, and they're asking you for your input, and you couldn't attend that, because we know the money is important, especially because we come to find out that 82% of the African-American community in the United States is not below the poverty line. Can we change the narrative a little bit? Can we stop talking about how poor black people are and they came from the bottom and they came from a 0-parent household and everything was a struggle? That's not the majority of black people. In fact, I got another statistic here. I got to find it, though. It's buried. I got a lot of stuff going on my computer. It's like 75 or 80% of black people in this country are middle income and higher. So middle class is the majority of us, like 45, 46%. But then there's another like almost 20% that's even higher than that. Like, black people are not poor and struggling, but that seems to be the narrative. And I think it takes away from our credibility, because we are not highlighting how good we are, how great we are, and how successful we are. Now, there's also a bit of a difference here. And Maggie alluded to this when she called in. There's income and there's wealth. Black people make money, have incomes, don't have wealth. And even when you talk about taxing people, they're taxing income. Really rich people, believe it or not, their incomes are, now I don't want to say they're low, but they're relatively low compared to their wealth. Their wealth are their assets, the buildings they own, the real estate they own, the businesses that they own, the land that they own, the space that they own. That's taxed differently than your actual income. There is an income tax that you pay. And if the majority of your income comes from, let's say, dividends on your investments, your tax rate is 15%. But if you are working a job, a 9 to 5, which the vast majority of African-American black people do, you work a job, your effective tax rate can be as high as 35 to 39%. That's the difference. Wealthy people pay less effective tax because of where their income comes from. So if you're a worker, you're getting screwed a little bit until you are no longer a worker and you become an investor. That's the trick. And it's not even a trick, because it's well known and should be widely publicized. You want to go from worker and wage earner to investor and dividend receiver. And then if you go to a state like Tennessee, Texas, Florida, Alaska, there's a few others, maybe a few others in the Southwest, where there's no income tax at all whatsoever, then your wealth and your income goes even further. So instead of just getting really mad at rich people because they're not paying any taxes, they're literally just following the rules. And so we can try and change the rules to tax wealth like income or to tax dividends like income, or we can try to, strive to, or aspire to getting the majority of our income from dividends. And usually that happens in retirement. I can't wait. I don't even know what I'm going to do in retirement, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to not even knowing what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll do radio. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll be a full-time YouTuber. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just lay on the couch. Maybe I'll just go and try delicious restaurants 7 days a week. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. Mayor Cavalier Johnson is promoting 2 budget hearing open houses as part of his ongoing effort to hear from residents of the city of Milwaukee about the 2027 city budget. 2 budget hearing open houses are scheduled for today from 5 until 7 p.m. at Zablocki Library, 3501 West Oklahoma, and tomorrow, July 30th, from 5 until 7 p.m. at the Atkinson Library, 1960 West Atkinson Avenue. It also should be noted that the Zablocki Library is an early voting site. So if you go to the Zablocki Library with the intention of attending the mayor's first of 2 budget hearings, go a little early and vote. Get your voting all out of the way, because some of y'all have your minds made up. So go and cast your little ballot. That's an early voting site, and you just have to be a City of Milwaukee resident. You don't have to live on the South Side to vote at a South Side early voting site. You just have to live in the City of Milwaukee. And if you are going to the budget hearing, and I would encourage you to do so, because we want to have more of a say-so in where the city spends its money, especially because you heard a gaggle of gubernatorial candidates last night at that candidate forum. I refuse to call it a debate because they weren't debating anything. If they're not telling you what their plan is for the city of Milwaukee and the issues, the problems, the trouble, the crime, the takeovers, the Water Streets and the Brady Streets, well, you can voice your opinion at these budget hearings as far as telling the city and the elected officials and the mayor how you want city dollars redirected to solve some of the problems that gubernatorial candidates are conveniently ignoring. But I get it. I can understand why they wouldn't want to be burdened with the trouble of Milwaukee, because it will consume your administration. Milwaukee's only one city. Now, we're a big city. We're a very important city. We're a sexy city. You ain't got to travel. We got New York right here at home. You ain't got to go nowhere. What do you need? We got it all. We got a lake. It looks like an ocean. You can get out there and parasail, surfboard, as Beyonce would say, whose name was dropped last night by David Crowley, which was weird. You can get on a boat. You can go eat. We have so many restaurants in Milwaukee. Milwaukee will make you fat. What else you can do here? You can go walk around the Riverwalk. What can you do? You can go to the festivals, but don't look for an African World Festival. We have a Black Arts MKE Fest, though. We have that. Milwaukee has all of the things. It's a great city. We sometimes get wildfire smoke, but that's not our problem. Got great stuff here. You don't need to go nowhere. Milwaukee's really come a long way. We got condos here. Some are very nice. Condos on the river. You got high-rise buildings where you can see real far. What's the one? Is it the what's the one that's by the Fiserv Forum? Is that the Couture? No, that's the Modern. You can see all the way to Holy Hill on a clear day. Some of the rents in the Modern are $12,000 a month. That's crazy. That's a lot of money for rent. You can buy a lot of cocaine. No. A guy called in earlier and said that he used to love the cocaine that he used to do back in the 60s. And then I asked him when was the last time he did cocaine, and he said last year. So just saying, Milwaukee's got a lot of great stuff. The budget hearing open houses are scheduled for tonight, Wednesday, July 29, from 5 until 7 p.m. at Zablocki Library, 3501 West Oklahoma. And tomorrow at a north side location, the Atkinson Library, essentially Atkinson and 20th and Capitol right there at 1960 West Atkinson. Both are from 5 until 7 p.m. If you are concerned about the city of Milwaukee and its direction, and you want to have more input on where we direct our city resources, because it seems that the gubernatorial candidates want to ignore the biggest, most sexy city that we have. I don't even know what second place sexy city is in Milwaukee. It's not Madison. Madison is not sexy. It lacks sex appeal.
Sheboygan?
Oh, no. Sheboygan doesn't have any sex appeal.
They have a lot of beautiful women. What are you talking about?
No, they got mullets.
Sheboygan?
Ew, you call it Boygan?
Sheboygan? Is that what it's called?
No, I don't know.
What's it called?
I don't know what the hell it's called. That's your stomping ground. I ain't going up there.
Oh, now you know.
Eau Claire is sexier than Sheboygan. Madison is not. Madison is just our snobby, more educated little sibling that's always trying to kiss up to mama and daddy. You know what I mean? Because they still live at home. When you think about it, Madison, the city of Madison, is the seat of state government. So Madison is still living at home. Milwaukee is independent. Milwaukee is street smart. Milwaukee is blue collar. Milwaukee will kick your ass. Milwaukee would challenge Madison to a fight, and Madison would leave with 2 black eyes. Madison is the pink-haired sibling that you don't want them to come to dinner, because they're always going to complain about the politics all the time. They're just miserable. That's what Madison is. Not sexy. Not sexy. And Madison's kind of fat. A little fat. Milwaukee's a little fat too, but we wear it well. We carry our weight well. Madison has Dunlop disease. Madison's belly Dunlopped its belt. You know what I mean? That's what Madison is, a little thick in the wrong places. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM.
I love the poorly educated.
We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Okay, everyone, put away your boyish desires, your buoyant sighs, your rolling eyes, your lust for rolling.
Gigilador. Am I saying that name right? She says, I think it's a she. Milwaukee food nasty. It will make you fat for good reason, but bad ingredients. Yeah. Smiley face. I've been to restaurants in cities all over this country, and Milwaukee punches way above its weight class in food. We have some of the best steak restaurants, certainly in the Midwest, if not in the nation. We're going to have, per capita, we're going to have more Michelin-rated restaurants than any city of comparable size. The ethnic cuisine, the Asian restaurants, the Indian restaurants, the Indian food, the Greek food, the Mexican food, hell, the taco trucks. We have such a diversity of cuisine in this city. Something to be proud of. Yummy. Let's talk to Jason. Jason, you're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm all right. How you doing, big bro?
Big bro doing all right. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm calling to give you a couple things. So you told me to hit you with an update. So we still working on that bed situation that you were talking about, especially during the wintertime. I have a meeting tomorrow morning with the treasurer of the SCORE and Small Business Administration, and we're looking at that Midtown location and off of 124th and Burleigh as a secondary. But that whole bed situation. And
can you Jason? Can you refresh people that may not have heard our original conversation?
Oh, okay. So the original conversation goes back to, well, not the original, but this portion of it. That goes back to January, December of this year. Last year and November last year, where you were speaking on Black Entertainment District out of Brown Deer, where the Northridge Mall was. That would be ideal for an area outside of Brady Street, Water Street, for younger but adult blacks to go after hours to have fun, be outside of the inner downtown area where all that wild shit is, and excuse my language, and Sugar Hunter iced tea, and deal with being and uplifting black businesses out in that Northridge area because they don't know what to do with it.
That's right.
So I have been working with some people trying to put together a business plan that's like 15 years in the making, to bring back like old school stuff that I remember when I was a kid, like the old Aladdin's castles, but more a modern entertainment venue, hall, place where kids can go during the day, adults can be at night, and there's a separation of the two entities.
Have you made progress in that regard? So have you bought anything? Are you making any offers? Because you got to first acquire some land, right?
We have purchased about 7 home properties. We've been renovating them, starting from their foundations up, and then renting them out. And that was based on after your conversation you were having about Barada properties. Me and my partners decided that's what we're on, so we just started buying up properties all over the inner city, and we're renovating them, and we're not selling them. We're renting them out. You know, we're going to try and be more of a holistic, better land provider, home provider in the city than we currently have.
Okay.
So that's what we're on right now, and then we're going to turn around and use that equity to purchase the land where Walmart was, or not purchase, but lease the land where Walmart was, and some other things.
Will you please keep us posted, and thank you for the work you're doing.
Absolutely. And one other thing, the second best city in the state of Wisconsin outside of Milwaukee, in my opinion, it has to be an area, not one specific city, and that's the Fond du Lac, Oshkosh, Appleton area. The cuisines up there, the social atmosphere, the nightlife is bar none compared to Milwaukee, and that's just my opinion.
Fair enough. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate your call.
Absolutely. You have a great day, and y'all keep up the good work at True Nation.
All right. We sure will. Yeah, the Fox Valley is not bad. My favorite Italian restaurant, I haven't been there in a while, and sometimes when you let a lot of time pass, restaurants can change their formulas. Why they do that, I don't know. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it's called Victoria's, and it's on College Avenue in Appleton. It's 100 miles away. And I have been known to drive 100 miles to go to Appleton, to go eat at Victoria's, just to turn right back around and come back to Milwaukee with my leftovers. Full disclosure, I did attend undergrad for my first 2 years at the University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh, which is in the Fox Valley, which is Green Bay, Appleton, Neenah, Menasha, and Fond du Lac. And it was a very interesting place to attend school, and I've actually grown fond of that area. So, sure, I'll humor Jason in saying the Fox Valley is a second-place region to the sexy of Milwaukee. Speaking of sexy, we're bringing it back for hour 3. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes, rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 1017 FM and 1510 AM, W269DL Milwaukee, and WGKB Waukesha.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I am awaiting the drop of the latest Marquette University Law School poll. Supposed to be made public now at 11 o'clock. I just checked at 10:59 and there was nothing. Let me hit refresh because I want to see if the needle has moved on the number of undecided voters. And I believe that if 45% of voters are still undecided 2 weeks before the election, less than 2 weeks before the election, early voting has already started. We did have our only candidate forum, technically a debate. There have been many candidate forums. I believe what happened last night, sponsored by WISN Channel 12, was just another candidate forum. There will be no more of those. I floated the idea of having a bunch of the candidates in here on my show, and I'd let them fight. I'm like, no. Oh, you going to let them talk to you like that? DC, David Crowley, I know you ain't going to let Mandela just talk to you like that, playboy. I would encourage them to challenge one another on their policy positions because that's what I want to hear, because they each know each other very, very well. They've all worked together, sometimes at the exact same time. They know things about one another, and I want that stuff to be exposed to the voters. Not like personal stuff, but just like stuff about their work ethic or things that they're being inconsistent on. I know several of them lied about their positions or they changed their positions just because they've decided to run for governor, which is fine, but I'd like to know that. And I think that when candidates know each other, there's a way in which they can engage one another in conversation I think is beneficial for the public to know, because they're all competing essentially for our vote, for our attention, but they didn't address one another last night. I'd love to hear Kelda challenge Mandela. I would have loved to hear Francesca challenge Joel Brennan. I would love to hear Joel Brennan challenge David Crowley on some mistakes that he made or the current financial situation of the county, which is not good. The county is facing a $50+ million budget shortfall. David should explain that, because if you want to have impact and be able to create and shape the $110 billion with a B billion-dollar state budget, you got to tell us, can you handle the Milwaukee County budget? Like, all of that stuff is fair. The problem is because we have such a low standard for black people that we like, especially if they are trying to achieve positions of power. And let's be clear, if you're black and running for governor, you are running to represent white people in the state of Wisconsin. That's what you are doing. But we have such a low standard because we're often so proud of black people when they're trying to move up the ladder that we don't hold them responsible and accountable. And if you do hold a black person responsible and accountable, it feels like oppression. And it shouldn't be like that. We know how good we are. There's no pressure that a black person in America cannot withstand. And so if we are running for these positions, we need to face scrutiny. Don't treat us with kid gloves, especially if we want to get into the big boy and the big girl political arena. Governor Evers said it some time ago that the person that wins this gubernatorial race will potentially be the next president of the United States, or at least a presidential candidate, or at least somebody's vice presidential running mate. I firmly believe that, because Wisconsin voters and how they can flip from red to blue are the true state and sentiment of America's political understanding. I really believe that. I believe that there's a sensibility in Wisconsin voters that can be generalized to the rest of the country, because if Wisconsin is a red state, the Republicans win the White House. If Wisconsin is a blue state, more often than not, I think that Wisconsin has predicted accurately presidential elections for the last 40 years. So there's something about the political leadership here that has its finger on the pulse. Now, I'm not sure what is happening right now with the Democratic Socialist, who is leading the other Democrats in the race, and it seems like everybody is trying to out Francesca, which they are not going to be able to do. And I'm very proud of David Crowley, but also hold him to a higher standard that nobody else is holding him to, because they don't want him to, have to answer the tough questions. I do. If you're getting a master's degree and you're trying to defend your thesis, do you want that panel of people to ask you soft questions in defending your thesis? No, you should want the most difficult questions they can possibly muster and rise yourself to the challenge of answering them, because that is who we are. Not enough of our intellect is being highlighted. It's not a part of our culture. In fact, too much of our culture is being dumb and being misinformed, and that troubles me, because that's what the rest of the world thinks of us. Let me hit refresh, and if they don't have the new Marquette poll out, I'm going to go back to these poverty numbers because there is a narrative that needs to change. And the narrative is every black person didn't come from the 53206 and grew up in a single-parent, poor household. That is a minority of the minority. Better than 60% of African Americans in this country are middle class or above. Might even be closer to 70%. But for some reason, poverty is our narrative. We got to stop that. That's a portion of our diversity of who we are, but it's not our total identity, because that makes everybody think, including other black people, that we're just destitute and have our damn hands out. Now, there are people that are, in fact, destitute with their hands out, and we want to be able to take care of those people and allow them to realize their full potential. But the vast majority of African Americans, better than 8 in 10, live above the poverty line. But too many of our narratives from successful black people all starts out with, I was born in the struggle. Oh, Lord, I was born, because it can't even be a single-parent household anymore because that's not oppressed enough. I was born to 0 parents. I was just a baby on the streets of Brooklyn. I had to rob liquor stores so I could afford shoes to go to preschool. That's not who we are. Let's talk to Linda. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Good morning, Professor, and good morning to all the beautiful black and white people of Milwaukee. Sherwin, I called at the exact perfect time. It's just so exciting because that's what I was calling about. Black fatigue and black intelligence. I mean, I think that black fatigue is hitting everybody, even black people. Because guess what? Spelman, what else? The black colleges in the South, they've all put a standard on dress code. I guess they saying no more bonnets, no more those what the men wear, do-rags, because I don't know. I guess our young people is just having black fatigue. And so we are forgetting that we have a standard. Where's all our high standard, high educated, intelligent black people? Come on now. We have got to raise the standard. I'm trying to tell you. And the less than 1% that's out here acting the fool that's giving us a bad name, that's not us. And we have to distinguish the differences because there are other races that, do ignorant things too, but they don't highlight that. The races against us, they only exploit the least amongst us. And I think that the least amongst us is less than 1% of the 40% population in Wisconsin, for real. I really like to know what is the demographic of black crime in Milwaukee as opposed to the 40% of positive people that's doing great things in Milwaukee. And
wait, Linda, who's the 40%? You keep referencing 40%. Who is that?
You said that black people represent 40% of the population in Wisconsin.
No. You don't really think that, do you? It's Milwaukee.
Oh, it's just Milwaukee.
We are 4% of the population of Wisconsin. 4.
Oh, thank God. Only 4? Golly.
Linda, if you thought that 40% of Wisconsin's population is black, where do they all live?
I sure did.
We're only in basically one city.
But you know what? I'm thinking that of all the great people that have left Milwaukee or Wisconsin, it could be up there. But because it seems like like you said, all the good ones, successful ones, they leave. And here we get the ones that come from, Chicago, Detroit, Michigan in the South, and they bring their element. And it just adds on to the black fatigue because we keep lowering our standards. We got to raise our standards. Where is the smart, intellectual, educated people, black people, that is? And then I'd also like to say, Sherwin, that when we're talking about the black issue, the word black issues, that's a hot mic. We can't say it like that. We have to reword it to human rights, civil rights, like health, quality
Lynn, I'm not
quality
going through this
education.
because you're real quick to point out racist, but if you want to take our race out of it, your repeal is going to fall on deaf ears because they still can discriminate and create disparities based on our race. Look, I get it. At the end of the day, all lives matter, Linda, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about race, and we want to elevate to where we are above race, but we cannot because the disparities exist because of race. Let me ask you a question, Linda. What percentage of the U.S. population, so all of America, all 50 states, what percentage of the U.S. population do you believe is black or African American, if you had to guess?
14%.
Okay. But you thought that 40% of Wisconsin's population was
Oh,
black.
yeah, I got it wrong. I heard you wrong.
Yeah. And the other thing is nobody is coming here
from
from Detroit and Gary, Indiana, Chicago anymore. If anything, black people are leaving the Midwest altogether and going back down south. Back before we reformed our welfare system in the 80s and the early 90s, people were migrating here from those cities to take advantage of our welfare system. But I assure you, no one is moving to Milwaukee now. In fact, we have lost probably 60 or 70,000 people in population in the last couple of census counts. So nobody wants to live here anymore.
And I don't blame them. You know, Chambers said he lost 5,000 in his district, but I don't blame them because of the oppression and the suppression that's going on in Wisconsin, particularly in Milwaukee. I guess because, like you say, Milwaukee is the plantation for the state. And so we don't feel like we should be slaves in this city, and we can go somewhere else and live out our life.
Do you feel like a slave?
Huh?
Do you feel like a slave?
I don't feel like a slave, but I think that the obstacles and the challenges to prosper is very intense in Milwaukee. And it's not coming from all racist people. Some of our black people, you know, that crab mentality, don't want to see the next black person excel, so they keep you down. Well, let's talk about that one.
Linda, what's your highest level of education completed?
My second year in doctoral school. I'm starting my third year this fall.
All right, so you're working on a PhD, so you have a master's degree, I'm assuming?
I have 3 masters.
3. Do you are you a homeowner?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have enough money to make ends meet?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
For one person, but not for a family.
Linda, you're only one.
Okay.
Do you have a family?
Okay.
Your kids are grown. All right.
Yeah.
So homeowner, 3 master's degrees, working on a PhD. Do you have an automobile? Like, do you have transportation? Can you get around?
Yes, Sherwin. That was given to me from my father, but I don't have to pay no car note or no insurance.
That's Linda. These are all really good things. How are you oppressed? Can you eat?
That's what I'm saying. Because
what'd you have for lunch? Did you have dinner? What'd you have for dinner last night?
What I'm saying, Sherwin.
Yes.
This is exactly what I'm saying when it comes to our excuses that the black issues is holding us down. Hello, somebody. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Matter of fact, if Oprah can do it, anybody can do it. She came through here, Mississippi, Milwaukee, and look at her.
But weren't you just talking about black oppression, though?
Yeah,
Linda, you're like
you're
in the most elite of company of all Americans, and you're a black woman. So that's
and I'm saying I'm not claiming black issue. I'm not claiming that.
Okay.
I'm doing what I can do in my capacity,
all right.
And that's what what I'm saying here. Everybody got the opportunity to excel. We keep using that as an excuse, and so what we're doing is perpetuating the spell upon ourselves.
Why do you have 3 master's degrees? That seems a little excessive.
Actually, I have 4, but I was a year away from graduation, and my mom and dad and brother died. So you can say I got 4, and I'm gonna do those 3 credits so I can get my 4 masters, and I'm gonna finish this doctorate because it helps me in my purpose, and my purpose is to teach, inspire, and empower young people.
Okay,
for real.
Thank you, Linda. Appreciate your call.
All right
now. Okay. That sounds like a lot of oppression to me. Why do you need that many degrees? That's a lot. I'm going to take a break, come back. Got a couple of callers we're going to speak with. Also, going to check the YouTube poll. 82 people have voted so far. Was there a clear winner in the Democratic debate last night? 23% of you say yes. The overwhelming majority is 77%. say no, there was not a clear winner in the debate last night. Let me hit refresh, see if the latest Marquette University Law School poll is available. It is not. See, this is why I don't like Marquette. They be slacking. They said the poll was going to be out at 11 o'clock. It's 11:15 now. Get your lives together. At least it's not on their Twitter. Let me hunt around for this latest poll because I'm trying to see if David Crowley moved up, trying to see if Francesca moved down. I'm trying to see if there's been any motion in the ocean of the undecided voters in the state of Wisconsin, even though the election is here and almost 110,000 people have already cast their votes. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, and I'm exclusively on 101.7 The Truth. And in the evenings, I'm exclusively on YouTube. Follow the Hughes Views 414 YouTube page. We do evening recaps. Not every day. I'm not doing it because that's too much because I like to be in the street sometimes. I'm not going to broadcast every night on YouTube. Y'all ain't going to kill me having me doing 2 shows a day. What you think this is? Y'all trying to work me like a slave.
Silver Fox Summer.
I need to have my Silver Fox Summer. Before you know it, I'm going to be wearing a winter coat and some moon boots because it's going to be cold outside soon.
Who
Don't
knows
go
with
anywhere.
global warming?
I'll go right back. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Educators Credit Union is more than a place to manage your money. They're where your financial possibilities take shape. They're more than transactions. They're conversations about your financial goals. More than numbers, they're community advocates who support free, local events that are accessible to all. They foster community because we are stronger together. Educators Credit Union is people helping people. Become a member at ECU.com. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Wait, this ain't supposed to be playing. Maybe it is. Stop it. Play what I'm trying to play. This is racist. So frustrating. Here we go.
Mr. Crowley, 3 weeks ago, you dropped out of this race saying you couldn't see a path to victory. 11 days ago, the primary upended when Sarah Rodriguez dropped out, and you made the unprecedented move of re-entering the race with an immediate endorsement from Governor Tony Evers. Since then, you have been linked to a social media account that includes offensive posts. You've said you didn't write any of those, and some have accused you of being the latest prop for the Democratic establishment. So, are you, and why should voters now trust your judgment and ability to win?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having us. But I was never born into the establishment. I was actually born into struggle. I grew up in the 53206 zip code where I had to work extremely hard for everything that I have. And so I'm not here to protect the establishment. I'm here to deliver real results for Wisconsinites all over our states. And you know, I like to make decisions based off of the data, based off of facts. And we learned ever since that day that a lot of things have changed and we were going off of false data. And so we know that the stakes are too high this upcoming election. And that's why I got back into this race. And I'm honored to not only have the endorsement of Governor Tony Evers, but labor unions and leaders all across this state who believe in my leadership. And I'm looking forward to delivering for all of Wisconsin.
All right. Mr. Crowley, 3 weeks ago, you dropped.
Stop playing now. Let's talk to Al. Al, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
To grow.
I'm doing good.
Hold on, Al. Everybody relax. Okay, go ahead, Al. Sorry about that.
Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna be honest. That's that pity party, nigga, sugar, honey, iced tea. Because Cavalier Johnson pushed that too, and that's why we need to hit the reset button. Why do we always keep pushing black people as infidels and derelicts? Why do we do that? Y'all push this stuff as if the only thing we about is Section 8, Jesus Christ, food pantries, mental health badge, and that black people didn't have enough to take care of themselves. I just don't get it. And this is why black people are not moving forward. We don't care if you're from 53206. Just say what you can do. And if you're from 53206 and you came from struggle, you shouldn't be telling nobody any goddamn way. And furthermore, they need to get their commercial. I don't know if it's Black Trust is over it. It comes on WNOV. Is Black Trust over WNOV?
Yes.
Is they over that?
Yes.
Okay, this is for you, boo, and I hope y'all listening. They got this commercial. If I can't have a seat at the table, just give me a chance. When you push commercials like that, what you're saying is, if you give me a chance, I'll be a good nigga. And that's another thing that's hurting black people. Don't do that. If you're not gonna give me a seat at the table, why would I want you to give me a chance? But what's so funny, you don't never see them pushing no commercials. You don't ever see in no type of media they have a white woman smoking meth with a 54-foot trailer. They don't push that. Y'all push this stuff as black people are ignorant and they come from a place of slums. That's why I always talk the way I do, because that's not who we are and that's not who our grandparents is neither. So y'all need to stop that because y'all don't live that way neither. And last thing, Mr. Hughes, you talked about those places up north. Back in the day, that's where the black men used to go get their white women so they can slut and whore them out. Because they always, snow bunny, snow bunny, snow bunny forever. They used to do that because they thought their kids was going to come here looking like Angelina Jolie or Johnny Depp because they thought they was going to get the skin color, the hair, and funny color eyes. And their kids still came here shaped like washers and dryers, and their hair was just as nappy as evergreen trees, and they still grew up to be mediocre, okay? So we got to stop doing this and hit the reset button, okay? You don't see those white politicians pushing that they came from meth, angel dust, bestiality. You don't see them pushing that, but only when it comes to black people. I'm from 53206. We was getting food stamps. My mama used to get her ass beat, and now she got spina bifida. Now she's living in Section 8 and just graduated as a daycare teacher so she could get a bunch of kids. And then she go to Costco to buy out her groceries. So we're going to do that. Why y'all don't do those white people like that? But see, that's what they do to black people. Y'all have yourself a good day. We got to stop doing that. That's why I always push back on it. And you black politicians, y'all definitely need to stop doing that. That's why don't nobody like effing with y'all. Y'all do that because you don't want to have to fight for black people. But we're going to keep calling you. We're going to keep calling you cotton picking niggas out. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. He said spina bifida.
What is the end cutoff rate? Like, how many times are we allowed to say that?
I don't know. Say as much as you want to.
Okay.
You didn't dump it, did you?
Hell, no.
All right.
No. Sure. I always let the people get the uncut dope.
Well, they're getting too much uncut dope because Matt called in, and
he sounded like he was high during the call.
That's his prerogative. He can be high if he wants to. Marijuana legalization didn't come up last night, which I found unusual. I think that we are starting to see the unintended consequences of legalized marijuana, and I think that there was like this fantasy utopia that, we'll legalize marijuana in Wisconsin, have all this tax revenue. It is contributing to addiction problems, and children are more likely to use and abuse marijuana when it's legal. And a lot of the products, especially some of the edible ones, are marketed toward children. And, of course, there is the increased risk of operating while intoxicated. So legal marijuana is not the utopia that you think it is. Let's talk to Lisa. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Good morning, Sherwin. How are you?
Not going to ask you if you watched the debate. Not going to ask.
Well, I was in the hospital, so...
They got TVs in the hospital.
I know they do, but when doctors are coming in and out, nurses and CNNs and all that, it's not... it's a bad experience. But anyway, did you get my text message? I sent you a text message introducing myself and a picture of myself. So when I do see you out on the streets, then you will know who I am. Hello, Sherwin, and we can keep it going.
When did you send it?
That's all. I sent it around
What number did you send it to?
Something.
Oh, here it is. Right
877 something.
Oh, it says that I can't view the image. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here it is. But for some reason, the image is not. The link to the image is broken. Lisa, I don't listen. If you see me out in public, leave me alone.
Oh, that's how I am too. So that's what I was saying.
So now I know what you look like. I'm gonna avoid you. Let me do what I'm doing. I'm probably very busy. If you would see me.
If I see you on the street, I wouldn't know who you are. Anyway.
So why did you send me a picture of you so I can know who you are?
Because just in case we see each other on the street as a glad. And first of all, like I said, I'm going to send you my food. So I think you should see how a person looks before you start eating their food.
That's okay. Thank you, though. You don't got to do that. That's all right. I don't want you to inconvenience yourself.
Oh, no, sweetheart. I never do that. But anyway, you know what I was thinking?
What?
I was thinking you just stated that they're going to have a meeting at the up here at the library on I think August 30th, right here on Atkinson's Library.
No, July 30th, tomorrow from 5 until 7, 1960 North Atkinson. Or is it West Atkinson?
Okay, I think I can make that.
You still in the hospital? When you getting out the hospital?
No, I got out yesterday.
Oh, all right.
And I feel so darn good today, yeah. You got to get that medicine out your system. Ugh. But anyway, I said, I'm going to look because I've been told, I've been hearing that there have been Jehovah's Witnesses that have been voting. And I'm going to hear and look. I'm going to look and read and see what I can find out about that. Have the elders come up with the new information and share it, with the congregations that, it is biblically stating that it is okay for us to vote or still not to vote. So, I'm going to look
maybe
into
just
that.
go vote and don't tell anybody. It's nobody's business.
Well, the most important being that knows is Jehovah. So I don't care about telling nobody if I vote or not. I tell a Jehovah's Witness or anybody else. I don't give a damn. Look, who are you? I breathe like you do. I bleed like you do. I do drink water and I eat like you do. So who are you for me to lie to on anything, about anything? If you want to know, I'll tell you. If I feel that you need to know, I'll let you know. And I'll let you know if I'm not going to tell you. Period. That's who I am. I don't have to hide behind nothing. I don't have to speak for no one other than myself. And if you don't like me, fine. If you do like me, fine. I shall live and die. That's it. That's Lisa. Can't get no more simple than that.
Okay.
And that's all I have to say. I love you guys. Love you, Sherwin.
Oh,
See you.
we love you.
See you on the street.
No,
okay, take
don't
care.
see me on the street. Leave me alone.
Well, actually, I love to be inside. I love to be at home. So I really do. Me seeing you on the street, especially, Sherwin, I used to love to go out to eat. Oh, my God. I can't eat now, Sherwin. So I'll be wasting people's good food in their cooking on something I can only take a fork or two of. You know, if I'm eating a soul food dinner and I want the macaroni, cheese, and greens, that's it. I can't eat no more. I want to eat some of the beef ribs. It's not going to happen.
Beef ribs. Okay.
You have
beef
1
ribs.
minute
All
remaining.
right. You got to go. You got to
Okay,
get off the
bye-bye.
phone now. You're talking a lot, but
Okay.
thank you for calling. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
All right then.
Bye-bye.
Oh, yep. Marquette University Law School poll is out. New Marquette University poll, Democratic primary. You ready? Where should I start, from the top or the bottom?
The top.
Madison State Assembly Representative Francesca Hong, 38%.
There we go.
Second place, with 16% support, former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes. Next, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, polling at 7%. State Senator Kelda Roys, 2%. Businessman and former DOA Secretary Joel Brennan, 2%. Undecided, 34%. So there you have it. Undecideds are down by 11 points. It appears that those undecideds have probably split their support between Francesca and Mandela. The election is here. It is in less than 2 weeks. Early voting has started, and still 34% of likely Democratic primary voters are undecided. I bet you half of those people don't vote at all. It is now Francesca's race to lose. David Crowley, even after the endorsement of Governor Tony Evers and raising something like $700,000 in the last 10 days and running in very heavy rotation, broadcast television commercials, is still only at 7%. There is not enough time for him to overtake the current Democratic frontrunner, which is Francesca Hong. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Dreaming of owning your first home? Don't settle for a fixer-upper. Build a brand new home with Milwaukee Habitat for Humanity. They partner with first-time buyers to make home ownership possible with little to no down payment and a team that's on your side every step of the way. Even if you're just starting to explore what's possible, they're here to help you take the next step. If your household earns between $55,000 and $90,000 a year, you may qualify. Visit MilwaukeeHabitat.org to learn more.
Are you looking for a place to shop that offers a fair market price? You need to visit Century Food Store on 92nd and Lisbon Avenue. This week, buy boneless top sirloin steak, $8.99 a pound. Essential Everyday Purified Water, 2 for $7. Frito-Lay Baked Snacks, Dipper Salsa, 2 for $6. 1 pound of sweet strawberries, $3.49. Minute Maid Zero Sugar Drinks or Gold Peak Tea, 2 for $5. And Stone Ridge Creamery Ice Cream Sandwiches, $3.99. So what you waiting for? You can also order groceries through DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Instacart, or stop by Century Foods at 92nd and Lisbon Avenue today.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture, or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome. Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to health care and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Looking to discover and support local businesses in our community? Then make sure you tune in every Friday at 8 a.m. to Truth in the Morning with Homer and Bailey for What the Business Is, powered by We Energies. Each week, you'll hear from local business owners as they share what their business is, where they're located, and one valuable lesson they've learned along the way. Don't miss What the Business Is every Friday at 8 a.m. only on Truth in the Morning with Homer Blow and Bailey Coleman. That's powered by We Energies, delivering the energy that powers local business. And life's better when you know you're covered. With a home and auto policy from American Family Insurance, you're not just buying coverage, you're getting an agent who helps you feel protected and prepared. Someone who understands what you've built and what you are building next. Because when your home and your ride are protected the right way, you're free to focus on your family, your goals, and your future. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. American Family Mutual Insurance, SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin. So there's been a little bit of motion with the Marquette University Law School poll. Francesca Hong has maintained, if not slightly widened her lead, at least in the Marquette University Law School poll, 38%. Mandela Barnes is at 16%. David Crowley, 7%. Kelda Royce, 2%. Joel Brennan, 2%. Still 34% undecided. There simply is not enough time for any of these single digit, even Mandela. Not enough time. Kate, what are you going to do? At 16%. She's at almost 40. How do you move 34% of people that still are not decided? What more do they need to see? The candidate forum last night, well, I don't know. Let me see. Let me check our YouTube poll because, our polls are probably some of the most accurate that we conduct with listeners and participants of this program. The question we asked via YouTube, was there a clear winner in the Democratic debate? 75% of you say no. And I'm going to, if you bear with me, I'm going to check a poll that I put up last night in the Hughes Views 414 Facebook group. And I asked you who you believe won the Democratic debate last night. Even though it wasn't a debate, it was a little chit-chat. The majority of the people said David Crowley. One person said Franny Pants. 62% said David Crowley. 29% said Joel Brennan won the debate last night. And one person said Kelda Royce. All right, well, yeah, she got one vote. So one person thought that she won. I think that she performed well. I'm surprised she's not doing better. But I think the Madison liberal contingent is going with Francesca, which is disappointing for Kelda, I'm sure, because she represents 3 times as many people in the Wisconsin State Senate as Francesca represents in the Wisconsin State Assembly. I think who your undecided voters are, honestly, I think it's suburban white women, college-educated suburban white women in the surrounding counties and in the suburbs, because Sarah Rodriguez was absolutely their candidate. And I don't know who a suitable second place is. I don't know what white women do anyway. Like, I don't know what do they do when they wake up in the morning? Like, what is their routine? If you're a white lady, do I dare ask a white lady to call in? I want to know what the routine is. Like, what are your lives like? What do you start with? Do you start with yoga? Do you make your coffee first? Do you drink matcha? Like, would you go to Starbucks? Like, what do you do?
Most of them start the day off with coffee.
Okay.
Then they brush their teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And then they check their Facebook or whatever social media that they're on.
All right.
From my, observations.
Gotcha. So these are white women Democratic primary voters. That's how their routine. What else do they do?
Oh, yeah, the white. Oh. What you mean for their morning routines?
Yes.
Oh, some of them will do some yoga. Mm-hmm. Some of them might roll over and give me a kiss. Or, just depends on the day.
You're a sucker.
I'm a sucker?
Totally.
No.
All right. You be sending good morning texts, don't you?
Yeah. It depends on the woman.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Good morning, beautiful. I just want to let you know.
No. Good morning. Hope you have yourself a nice day. It's just something very thoughtful. Not saying, oh, hey, beautiful. No. Unless it's my girlfriend, but I haven't had a girlfriend in a long time.
Best good morning text is no text. The second best is, what you doing, big head? Insult her. Oh, my God, what? Nothing. When you coming over? You send a good morning text, you're like, oh, you're a simp.
No.
Hi, beautiful. Hi, I just want to let you know that I'm thinking of, oh, my God.
Oh, no. See, you can't be saying all that. It depends on the woman, too, the relationship that you have with them.
Show big head ass up. You need to be awake making me breakfast. Stop. What you want for breakfast? Why are you talking to me like, are you coming over? Nah, that's toxic. Don't do that.
Yes, I'm not a toxic guy.
I don't like getting good morning texts.
You don't?
Hell no. Leave me alone.
I like it, especially if it's a great night.
I don't want to feel obligated to respond. I'm busy in the morning. I got a routine. Don't interrupt my routine.
Oh, you say, oh, thank you. I hope you have a great day as well.
No, I see you when I see you, because I can't have my mind drifting. I can't be thinking about her. I got a lot of stuff I got to accomplish by noon every single day. I don't need no distraction. Plus, she can wait. I can't send a good morning text because I'm booked and busy. One thing that's a huge turnoff, it's a turnoff for me too. Why you got so much time on your hands? Why you got so much time to text me? We'll text when it's time to text, but we got stuff to do. We got to be productive. We got to get some stuff done. I ain't going to be over here fooling around with you with my face and my damn phone. I got to be checking the news and checking all of the things that are happening in the elections and the voters and the black people and the poor people. I got to do all of the things. And I ain't got to be trying to be lollygagging with you. I'm a man about my business. Now, you ain't going to sidetrack me off of my business. You want to be an instant turnoff? Have too much time on your hands. Texting her talking about, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? How's your day going? What are you having for lunch? She's going to be like, ugh, dude needs to get a life. Doesn't she need to know that you have other stuff and other priorities? If you make her a priority, you're going to get disrespected, because then she knows she can just treat you any old kind of way. And you haven't heard from you in 20 minutes. Are you okay? And then, what's crazy? Some people are nuts, right? So they'll shoot you a text. Hey, how are you? Just checking on you. This one, I miss you. And love you, miss you. And you don't respond. Hi, just sending it. And maybe you didn't get my first text. Maybe miss you. Love you, miss you.
Oh, then you really stop talking to them after that.
10 minutes later, I tried to be nice. I tried. Next thing you hear, they at the crib.
Has that happened to you?
Oh, Jesus, Lord. Or they go into fantasy land, right? I'm legitimately busy. I could be, doing a radio show. I know you with another woman right now. Why ain't you texting me back? I know you would. There's no women here. I can't even be with maybe Shannon because she lives 2,000 miles away. There's no women. You know who I'm looking at right now?
Me?
Xavier, Zech, and and Nitty. So disappointing. 0 eye candy. Zach, sit down.
Pause. But we're good-looking guys.
I don't care.
The women love us.
Do they?
Yes. Well, Ray's spoken for.
Every time I hear any song performed by Ray Nitty, someone's ass is shaking.
Yeah.
I just randomly was just scrolling through Instagram, and it was just a video in some other city, and somebody is playing Bow.
Yeah, isn't his
in
song
their
about
car
shaking butt?
speakers, and it's just random ass. Ray just is an ass maker shaker.
Yeah. Bow. Bow. Bow.
See,
Move
that-
your body like.
You
Bow.
want to shake
Bow.
yours too? I know Ray get tired of that. Ray, I bet you hate. Hey, Ray, perform Bow for us right now. Do it now. See there? He's probably getting sick of that.
Yeah.
That's what people know. Now they should know him as an accomplished radio host on 101.7 The Truth. He hosts The Lunch Break, and it's every day from noon until 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. Just an FYI.
Very riveting conversations.
I'd imagine Ray is going to talk about the candidate debate. Maybe I'll stick around for a little bit. Ray, you going to talk about Ray, you have to talk about it. If you don't, I'm going to make you. I'll come in here with you. Poor Shannon. I know she didn't watch none of it.
Yeah, Ray said he's going to talk about it. He's going to give his insight.
Shannon was probably at a pool party. She lives in
You're checking
one of
up
my
on her.
favorite American cities, actually. I love Las Vegas. I've been to Las Vegas more than I've been to Chicago.
I do love Vegas. I go there at least twice a year.
It's a good time.
Oh, yeah.
I first heard about COVID-19 in Las Vegas. So I flew out there. It was January, third week of January. It was the weekend that Kobe Bryant died, actually. I went out there that Friday. Kobe died, I think, on a Sunday. So I flew out to Vegas for a weekend in January. And when we landed, everybody turns their phones on. And there was a guy who was sitting in a row to my left and in front of me, and he turned his phone on. He starts laughing. And then he held his phone up, and it was a picture, a meme of a Corona beer, and it said 19-virus underneath it, and we all thought it was funny. That was the first time I'd ever heard anything about COVID-19 coming to America. We knew that people in China were sick. Man, we had no idea what was coming our way. All right, I'm going to take a break, come back. This is my final break of the program. You can join us this evening at 7 p.m. via Hughes Views 414. I'm going to go into more details and more depth about the Marquette University Law School poll. So now candidates need to start dropping out. By Friday, there shouldn't be anybody else in the race. If they are very serious about coalescing behind the front runner, Keller can't do it. Joe Brennan can't do it. And I thought it was Brennan for the winning, apparently not. Mandela can't do it, and David Crowley can't do it either. But David Crowley might as well stay in, because if David Crowley drops out, that means that he dropped out more times than he dropped in. So he might as well just ride it out. But he's only at 7%. Now, 34% of the voters are undecided. But how do you move 34% of the people? They must be just unhappy with the choices. And I don't know how well that's going to bode for the ultimate Democratic nominee come November. If 34% of likely Democratic primary voters still don't know who they're voting for and the election is actually here, we might have a low turnout election, because I think there's going to be an impact, you mark my words now, of a third-party candidate getting the Democratic nomination for governor. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we believe brilliance lives in every child. Here, students are challenged, supported, and celebrated every single day. With small class sizes, dedicated teachers, and a proven track record of academic excellence, MCP is helping Milwaukee kids reach their fullest potential. Enrollment is still open for grades K-3 through 8. Spaces are limited. Apply today. Give your child a school where they'll thrive. Visit mkeprep.com or call today. Milwaukee College Prep, brilliance lives here.
Looking for fun, adventure, and family-friendly activities this summer? Discover Milwaukee's Urban Ecology Center with locations in Riverside Park, Washington Park, and Menominee Valley. Explore hiking trails, family programs, outdoor adventures, community events, and opportunities to connect with nature right in your neighborhood. Whether you're looking for a weekend adventure or a summer-long experience, Urban Ecology Center has something for everyone. Learn more and register today at urbanecologycenter.org. Nature is closer than you think.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
No music. Just coming back to the sound of my voice. The black poverty rate has fallen substantially over the past 30 years from roughly 1 in 3 black Americans in poverty in the early 1990s to just 1 in 5 today, but it does remain twice the rate for non-Hispanic whites. In 1990, the black poverty rate was 32%. In the year 2000, the black poverty rate was 22%. In 2010, likely due to the economic recession, the black poverty rate crept up to 27%. In the year 2020, the black poverty rate dipped down about 8 points to 19.5%. The black poverty rate today stands at 17.9%. While that number is higher than our other racial counterparts, look at the inverse. 82% of African Americans do not live in poverty. The question is interpreted as, quote, what percentage of black children in the United States are living with a single parent? The answer is approximately 53% of black children under the age of 18 live with a single parent. Here's why that is a misnomer. It depends on who that child is with at the time the survey was given. They could still have the other parent, the mother or the father, in their life, but at the time, they just happen to be with one of those parents. Does not mean that they do not have two parents. Children living with one parent, African American between 52.8% and 53%, Hispanic 29.1%, white 22.4% of white children live with one parent. The share of black children living with one parent has increased over time. In 1970, it was 35%. In 1994, it was 59%. 2008, 52%. 2014, 54%. 2017, 52.8%. Here's a good one. Using the most widely accepted definition from the Pew Research Center, households earning between 2/3 and twice the national median household income adjusted for household size. The most recent estimates indicate that 45% of African-American households are firmly in the middle class. 53% of white households are in the middle class. So we're not that far off now percentage-wise. Asian households, 54 to 58%. Hispanic households, 43 to 46%. Here's the point that needs to be driven home. There are, in America right now, roughly 40% of African Americans are considered low income. 42% are considered middle income, and 18% of African American households are upper to high income. That means that 60% of black households right now in America, where we are terribly oppressed, are at least middle income and upper income. That is the majority of African American households in this country. That needs to be reiterated. 60% of black households are middle or upper income. And lower income does not mean poverty. It just means you make less than the median income of the country, which is like $85,000. It's still a substantial amount of money. Roughly 4 out of 10 African Americans are middle class, while 1 in 6 are considered high or upper income. So that is essentially 5 out of 10 African Americans are middle class or above. Black median household income is $63,000, which by no means isn't rich, but it's not poor either. Make sure you join us this evening via Hughes Views 414 on YouTube. The lunch break is up next.
Natural